So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today is our January monthly debrief, the first of 2023.
This is Season 3.
So this is Season 3, Episode 1.
Wow. That's
Wow.
impressive to say that.
It is, especially with my track record of never finishing a project.
Well, is this a project that actually ever can be finished?
No.
It should go on for eternity.
But like...
We're going to be doing this when we're dead in heaven for all the grognards out there.
I am very happy that you're so optimistic that we're going to go to heaven.
Well, yeah, I think I might. But I'm not sure about you, so I may have to come down and visit you. But
I've played a lot of bad guys in these war games. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, you were the opposition this evening. But no, you're right. It's very hard to follow through with stuff a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it for a while, and then you kind of get busy, and you start losing a little interest.
It's very easy to not do something, right? It's very easy to stop.
But we've stuck with this, and frankly, it's part of our ritual now. We just know. We kind of start texting the last 3-4 days of the month. Hey, this Friday, we're going to play a game, and then we're going to do a monthly debrief. What are we going to do? What's the topic? Think about what games we played. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like it. I've enjoyed it.
Yes.
Had a good time with it.
So this video is brought to you by Noble Knight Games, who are a sponsor of ours, which we appreciate. More from them later. But
the good folks at Noble Knight Games.
Very. January was...
Game-a-palooza, man.
It really was.
Yeah.
There are times where...
We play nothing. Or 2 games.
Or at least I feel like we play nothing.
Yeah. We always play
January
3 or 4
was
games.
like... Damn, the list of games just kept growing of like, we played this and this and this.
Why was that? Because we didn't get together on New Year's Day. I went on a quick vacation with my wife for our 27th anniversary and my 50th birthday.
And it was like, we had that really big cold snap around then as well. Maybe that was before.
I just don't know how we did it, but we did it.
don't...
We're consistent on Friday night. We really make sure on Friday night we get together.
And I think there were 5 Fridays in January.
Then that helps.
Which I don't know if that's true, but I feel like there was, and that's why we got so many in. And then we also gamed outside of that.
Well, we gamed with our family a couple times, and yeah, you gamed with some friends here, so we did a lot. It was a really big month.
A ton of gaming. So like, we're just going to kind of dive in.
I got a mountain of games.
And the order in which some of these come out may not necessarily be the order which we played them, just because
we could do them in the order we played them.
I don't have a good enough memory for that.
I do.
What did we play first thing in January?
Where's a Victory Awaits?
I thought it was this
Siege of Mantua, yeah.
Siege of Mantua. We played this like the first gaming session of January. No?
We played it the second.
Whatever.
Siege of Mantua. We played
Siege of Mantua.
in the first 2
from
weeks.
Hollenspiel.
This was an excellent game.
2-player block war game.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, a very small game. Like the map is small. It's very tight. You don't have a ton of pieces.
And there's only a couple of routes of advance, right?
Yeah.
There's really just 2.
And so it's this real struggle of like trying to do what you do without like just totally messing up and things go left real quick. But yeah, probably the only block war game that Hollenspiel will ever do. But
the story behind that is still, to me, just awesome.
Yes, full review of this is coming at some point.
The other thing I really enjoyed about this one is the potential for maneuver in such a small game was really interesting. I haven't played a lot of games where we only have 2 or 3 axes of advance, and I felt like we could move around quite a bit. It was very interesting.
Yes.
Very fascinating.
Yeah.
And those screen printed huge blocks were mouth-watering.
When you have it all out, gorgeous game.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. So, Amabel, good job on your one and only, probably, block war game. Would love to see you do another one. I think that should be in your future. But
probably unrealistic.
Probably not. But that was a good one. I really enjoyed that one.
Yes.
I really did.
Yes. What else have we got?
Well, Victory Awaits.
A Victory Awaits.
And we had a blast with this one because we threw some Shostakovich on.
Yes.
In stereo, and we were rocking out.
Blasting it real loud.
And we whipped out some tweezers because it had a lot of counters. Not over the top amount of counters.
No, and especially as the game progresses, they get more spaced out, but beginning they're all clustered on that on that line. But also
very fun war game.
Yeah, and it's like small little counters, small little hexes. But a very simple hex encounter war game. 10 pages of rules, really easy to learn. Not a ton of like extra complications and chromes and all this other stuff.
And it made a lot of it just connected, right? You're like, oh, this makes perfect sense for this scale, for this situation. This is why they did this. I enjoyed that one a lot. In fact, it's going to be on my top 10.
Yeah, really good, really
good.
tight game. Reminded me of how easy and accessible something like the SCS system is.
Oh, we love SCS.
Even though this is a different system.
Yeah, this is not SCS, but it's the simpleness is good.
Yes.
Because you still get some of the meat, but it's really just move your counters, attack, move and attack, maneuver and attack. I mean, it's just...
make sure you're in supply, make sure you've got the terrains. And very pressing for the Germans. You've got to go out and do your stuff.
Well, and I think ultimately, we played... Did we play like a 10-turn scenario?
I think it's a 9-turn. I think they're all 9.
And I think we only got through turn 5, and it was evident that I had not made enough progress as the Germans.
I think we did more than that.
Did we?
I feel like we did 7.
But I remember I conceded because it was obvious I hadn't done enough.
Yeah, because this is just the opening of Barbarossa. It's 1941. Yeah. It's those last 4 or 5 months of 41, and so it is like race to get to the end.
Yeah.
It's not like the back and forth of the whole East Front campaign. Really fun game.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And there's a lot of games in that system, right? Aren't there 2 other games in that system, like a victory denied and a victory lost, or...
Yes.
This one's a victory awaits.
Awaits, yeah.
Victory lost and a victory denied.
I believe it's those 2.
Those are red box, I think.
Yes.
Right? So we went with the blue box here. I get it. It makes sense.
Yes.
But I'd like to get the other 2 red box games
and I have
play them.
I have them flagged on Noble Knights.
I looked into them.
Stock,
I also looked into them.
We might look into that.
Well, I actually found a couple of copies, used copies, not on Noble Knight, but flag them on Noble Knight. If they come in, then we can pick them up.
Yeah.
But really enjoyed that one. That was a solid game.
Just great fun. Really fun.
It's a classic hex encounter war game.
Yes.
We got our tweezers out. Yep. And had a blast. I had a great time with that one. Let's go ahead and keep pulling from your side.
All right. We have...
Damn, this game was awesome.
1815 Scum of the Earth.
No doubt.
All right. This is like a card game with a war theme on it.
Yeah.
Sure. But hot damn, it is gorgeous.
Ugh.
Absolutely stunning artwork. Great little wooden components in it as well.
I found myself kind of looking at the cards and I'd be like, oh, I better start reading these. I don't want to just keep staring at the art. But really quick playing. Games are like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Lots of strategy. And while it's abstracted in many ways, right? You have a 9x9 kind of battlefield, and you're just trying to move around in the 3 different quadrants and take objectives. And it's so freaking fascinating. I enjoyed it so much. We played it twice. I got destroyed I played the French both times. Yep. I barely lost, and then you wiped me out. And we've come to find out, someone said that it's in the French or the British favor.
Yeah, having chatted with people who have played this, the questions were raised. Hey, does this favor the British, or are the British like more newbie friendly kind of a thing? Like
maybe,
I don't know where that lies. But I still had a really fun time with this.
It was awesome.
This is echoes of the Lord of the Rings living card game.
Yep, there's a look at the back of the box.
All of those other games that we have played a lot of and love. And so it was nice to kind of, almost like a family friend.
Yep.
It felt very familiar, but again, beautiful game.
The only thing I don't understand about this game and don't like, why in the world would you use a 3-inch box for this?
I have no idea.
I don't have space on my shelves.
This game is literally like 2 decks of cards and like 2 bags of counters.
You could do a box this wide and a 1-inch box, and this all fits in there.
So we've talked about looking into the other 2 games in the series. If we get those, they will all go into one box.
Got it.
Because I don't have the space for 3-inch boxes for those. That's a waste.
Such a good game. From
Hull or Nothing.
Hull or Nothing, an English company.
Yes.
Right? I think they're based in London. Tristan Hall.
Yes.
The guy's got it together. This is his 3rd campaign.
In that series, yep.
They've done other games, Gloom of Kilforth and kind of a fantasy style. I'd like to look at those too. This was just so awesome.
It was really
It was
fun.
just so good.
Very, very fun.
I did not put that on my top 10. We haven't done that one yet, but
it's the kind of game that you
just so good.
You slide out after a big game, or you do it in between. You can play it on a lunch break. It's
Yeah.
a really, really, really enjoyable. All right. What else
have
we got?
one
We
more
still
game.
doing
Yeah,
more?
let's go ahead and just...
Okay. We have... I felt like it was...
That was last weekend.
Yeah.
This was last week, and that's all we played.
Yeah, we played a lot of Eastfront games this month.
Yeah, we did. You're right.
So, Enemy Action Kharkov.
Yeah, we did.
From Compass Games.
Yep.
This is a 2022, right?
It is.
This is
It was a Kickstarter in like April or May, and then it fulfilled like in August, I think.
So this is one of those kind of 3-in-1 games where you have a solitaire Soviet game, a solitaire German game, and then a 2-player version. And there are 3 different maps in this, all with different kind
So
of
it's 3 games in
markings and
one.
configurations, different decks of cards for all the different bots and things like that. And like they'll use some of the counters are in common, and some of the decks of cards that you use. We played this 2-player, so there's a review for this coming. You're not going to hear about the solo stuff in that or from us right now
Because we have not
just haven't
played
done it.
that. Yeah.
I
so
would-
don't ask, right?
Yeah. At some point, I would like to.
At some point, I would like to as well.
But I've also had Enemy Action Ardennes on my show for 2 years, so like
And that's one we need to now, because we've dove into this.
Yes.
I think that one's a little more complex.
Yes. What I hear is
This is
a
simplified.
little bit simpler with
Yeah.
Tactically speaking, at least.
Yeah.
And so
But I
would like to parlay that into this.
I want to definitely play Enemy Action Ardennes. So I enjoyed this game. It probably, the most apt way to describe it is I think this is a solo game with a 2-player mode tacked on.
Yes.
I think we said that about a dozen times as we were playing. There's reasons for that, right? The situation, I think...
Yeah, tactically, the situation is like...
It's hard to play the Germans because you just should never attack.
You just get rocked the whole game.
You should never attack. I just think it's the tactical situation, that chit draw system.
Yes.
It's really made, I think, we both thought, to kind of prevent gaming the bot.
It's a great solo mechanic because you can't game the bot, and it's quite chaotic, and there's an element of randomness to it. But also, it's very slow. The combat resolution is very slow in this.
I feel like every battle took like 10 minutes.
And as such, it was like crushingly slow for 2-player.
Yeah.
But as a solo game, when you do it on your own time, totally fine.
You could play a couple of
Don't have
turns,
that problem.
go to bed.
Yeah, leave it
Wake
set
up the next day,
it's gonna
play
be
a couple turns, do something else. So the third thing, I think, the discrepancy in the hand of cards and the type of cards, I thought was a big difference. For instance, you had, I think your deck consisted of, was it 19 cards?
Oh, I think it's more like 13, and you had like 10.
Yeah.
Early on.
And then our hand size was significantly different. I had 4.
And I had 5, I think. 5 or 6.
I thought you got up to 6
It was
or 7.
on.
Okay.
And that changes over the course of the game.
It does.
You
But
get more cards added towards the end, but you have to get to that point.
I think I never get to above 5, though.
No, but you have a lot more secondary cards that get added in later in the game.
No, very true.
Whereas my stack, I add a bunch early and then like get no more than that.
It's just interesting because the game is built on the cards. If you don't have the cards to do anything, you do a lot of passing.
Yes.
I think I passed 2 or 3 times per round, and I sometimes passed 3 or 4 if I had played a combat or a tactics card. I don't recommend that. Lots to like here. I just don't think it was my cup of tea.
Yeah, but
And I'm not embarrassed to say that.
No.
Many of you are going, what? But my guess is most of you have played that solitaire.
and I'm sure solitaire it is a much more fulfilling experience.
I think we reviewed it and looked at it. I even wrote something on the blog, and it's coming out next week. But it really, in my opinion, your opinion as well, I think. I'm not trying to speak for you.
No. I think I'm inclined to agree.
It was a solo game with a 2-player mode tacked on.
Yes.
And a lot of games, it's the opposite. It's a 2-player game with a solo mode tacked on.
Yes.
So it's designed more as a 2-player, but you can play it solo.
And that's designed by John Butterfield,
who's a
designed
genius.
An incredible amount of great solo games. That's what you would expect.
In my written piece, I talked about that the first 3 paragraphs. We played some fantastic games from John Butterfield. RAF, D-Day At series.
Amazing solo games.
Great solo games. Beautiful solo games with some real amazing AI activations, but that's what he's good at, right? And Not that he can't make a 2-player game. That was just a solo game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Anyway.
he's made another great solo game.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and hit some of mine. I know you've got a couple
Yeah,
left.
we'll do that section.
Let's kind of hit the war games, right?
Yes.
I played
At
a
least the
couple.
stuff we played together.
I played a couple board games with my daughter. Now, we've talked about this a couple of times off and on the last couple of months. We did play, move that back.
And you will continue to hear about this also.
Well, because we've really only we've played it 3 times. We've only played 2 scenarios. I really want to sit down on a Saturday and I want to play 4 or 5. I really do.
Yeah.
And then we can do a review. We still haven't done a review of it. But this game is freaking awesome. Undaunted Stalingrad. From David Thompson, Trevor Benjamin, Osprey Games. This is the 4th entry in that Undaunted series. But this is a legacy style game.
And it's very, very fun and cool.
Your deck's going to change. Your units are going to get degraded. And it's so funny because we both have, I think my B squad is devastated. And your A squad is devastated. And what I mean by devastated is you have riflemen that can't shoot out of the hex that they're in.
Yeah, you got riflemen
with a shovel.
They're fighting with a shovel.
Or I've got a rifleman with a pistol.
Or I've got a rifleman whose leg is bandaged and he can't hardly friggin' move.
But that's what ends up happening. They can't control. They can't attack at range. They can't move. They can't. Trying to remember what one of the. But it's
you can't control.
You can't control. It's just so unique, so interesting. We haven't even gotten into the battlefield changing.
No.
There's about 120.
It's about to, but
120 tiles. Isn't that what it is?
Oh, it's something stupid like that. Yeah.
It's like each tile has like 5 versions of itself, or it's like 2 or 3. But each tile will degrade. The building looks full, and then it'll take some damage, and you now pull out tile B, and it's not as good a cover. It went from a 3 to a 2, and the third one, it's like, it has no cover.
It's open ground.
It's devastated. I think you're getting ready to get a Stuka, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the Stukas are coming in, so I imagine that'll do damage to buildings and stuff.
I can't wait to get destroyed by the Stukas. I love David Thompson and Stukas. He destroyed me in Pavlov's house with Stukas. But we love this game. I love it. I love it.
Very, very, very good.
And it's so beautiful. I mean, Roland McDonald's art is just fantastic, and the game is just fun.
Yep.
Now, some people are going to argue, not a war game. I'll fight you all day.
They're wrong about that.
It's a war game.
Yeah, no.
So, really enjoyed that, and we've played that a couple of times. We need to play it more.
Yes.
Let's go here. Not a war game at all. You talk about that one.
Not a war game, but Charioteer.
But a good game.
Really fun. This Charioteer racing game plays from 2 to 6 people. We played it. We had
3.
plans to play it with 4, and then someone.
Yeah. Thanks,
and
brother-in-law.
So we ended up playing with 3, and even at 3 players, it was very enjoyable.
Well, there's nothing not to like, right?
Yeah.
It's a card game. It's a card game where you're matching suits.
Match your symbols and
to then
numbers,
take actions.
Move that far.
Yeah, you're trying to move. You're trying to corner. You're trying to do some fighting. You're trying to heal your guy. It's just fun.
Yes.
This is made by Matt Calkins, the gentleman who made Sekigahara.
Yes, that's true.
And you can see Sekigahara in this game.
Yes.
In the matching of the symbols, right? It's so interesting that he's taken that, turned it into a commercially viable racing game. We love Sekigahara.
Yes.
We love it.
This game, we played it at 3, really fast paced.
Oh, yeah.
As you add more players, like...
It's going to slow down a little bit.
No, but like, it says 1 to 2 hours on the back. You can play as with 6 people. It's going to take you at most 2 hours. Like, really at most. Like
we burned through it, I think, in an hour with 3 of us.
The game goes so quickly once you know it, because it's just, hey, I got my colors and my symbols. I'm going to move this many spaces. You do it. Done. You move up a little skill, and you go.
But there's so much to it. There's so much management of your skills, your health, you've got special tokens. I'm trying to remember what those were called.
Oh gosh, yeah, the crowd tokens.
You can throw those in, and you got to try to match the favor or the emperor, right? You want to try to do something. Then you go up more. Then you get an ability, and it's like there's so much to like in the game.
So simple,
and it's just fun. We had unadulterated fun.
This is a game I want to take to a convention and play with 6 people.
No doubt.
And everyone's going to have a great time with it.
And that corner of the room will be loud, uproarious.
And anyone who's got a problem with that, Go to hell.
Well, it's just fun. Anyway, GMT did a really good job on this game. It looks really great.
Yeah,
Love the little meeples. They're really great.
I think about. I don't want to smack talk Thunder Alley because I love Thunder Alley, but
Yeah.
that game's quite complicated with the way there's a lot of different ways that you move,
And it could be done.
and the rule book is quite dense.
Yeah. This
is-
was the opposite of that.
Like the
Simple.
actual rules are like 3 or 4
Yeah.
pages, lots of diagrams, and the mechanics of look at my colored symbols and a number.
Yeah.
That's how far I go. Really simple. Literally anyone can pick this up and play it.
Yep.
Really, really, really good game.
Had a great time with that one. Another game that we played this month this is a 2022 game from Cadet Games, right?
Yes.
Wen Hui 72, Vietnam War game. This has the toy factor,
Yes.
right? You've got little miniature army guys with M16s. You've got VC units and NVA units with AK-47s. I don't remember how the VC were demonstrated. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Very interesting little game. It's got B-52s. It's got
little plastic bomber.
Oh my gosh,
phantoms,
choppers,
tanks,
artillery.
M113s.
And you know what? It's a simple, interesting. We played it wrong to start the game.
Which made a huge difference.
Yeah, figured it out, and then we kind of recovered. And I enjoyed this. I'm going to be honest. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It makes me really want to play their first game, which we have. We just
Yes.
haven't got around to playing. They were soldiers once, or they were soldiers, I think is what it's called, right? Anyway, I liked this. I had a good time with this.
Yeah, this was a fun game.
Yep.
It wasn't my favorite game, but it
No.
was very easy to play.
And there were a few problems with it. I mean, there were some things I'm like, really? Did we have to make it that complex?
yes. Like
Because
this
it
is-
just slows it down.
it's a beer and pretzels game.
Yeah.
And some of it's like, all right.
Yeah, but it is interesting. I'm
Chuck a
going to
bunch
be
of
honest,
dice.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's
I had a good time with it.
worth having a look if it's something you're interested in.
I'm glad we played it.
Plus cool little miniatures.
Probably the worst game of the month that we played. This is a waste of my $50.
Yeah, Firefly Misbehaving. So this is from Gale Force 9. This is a Firefly themed deck building game. I like deck builders. I like
I do too.
Firefly.
I do.
I've played a lot of games from Gale Force 9, and
They're mostly
most
good.
of them are pretty decent.
This
This
one-
game has a lot of problems.
Well, I think what you're generally doing is interesting. What ends up happening, though, it devolves into just, I'm going to crush that guy because he's in the lead. And
Yeah.
if you're not prepared for it, you're going to get crushed. And then guess what? The next guy's then going to be in the lead and everybody gangs up on him. It just, to me, that's problematic.
So this game, it's a deck builder. It's a little tableau builder.
And you've got combat cards.
Yeah, and it's like
You can't be doing everything.
you win by having a certain number of points.
Yep.
At the beginning of your turn. So you get that many points and everyone dogs you, and
gotta
then you don't have
survive.
that many
Yeah.
points. But they'll have to spend their points dogging you. And so now
Yep.
they can't win. And so then they put their stuff out and then you dog them. And the winner of this game is whoever happens to be the last person who has some points who everyone's wasted all their cards on everyone else.
Yeah,
It is, which is, have you ever played Munchkin? That is the
We've played Munchkin hundreds of times.
that is the Munchkin problem, and it is
Yeah.
like fun when you're like a kid and drink a lot, but not fun if you are looking for like a good strategic deck building game.
Well, and I thought with this one, they just tried to put too much in it.
Lots of symbology and bits and pieces.
Well, then you had your little resources that you were managing in addition to your cards. It just, to me, you made a game that was mildly interesting, yet ultimately fell flat on its face.
yeah,
just going to be honest.
Terrible end game and victory conditions. It was kind of a mess. We played this, and I was like, oh man, we could have played Firefly the board game.
Yeah, we could have and enjoyed.
Yeah.
Or we could have played Charioteer again. that day. I would have rather just sat that up and
that was,
played it again. I've got the next two, and then these are games that I played myself alone. Battle of Brandywine from Fast Play War Games. This is designed by Bill Molyneux. It's an American Revolutionary War game on the Battle of Brandywine. It actually has multiple scenarios in it. You have like Paoli, Valley Forge, a couple of others. It's a very simple introductory war game designed to be sold at forts and battlefield gift
Like museum
gift
type
shops
things, yeah.
For people that don't play war games. So when you buy this, understand this is going to be a simple game. I played it solo. I played the best move for each turn and each side. Had an enjoyable time. The rules are very simple. The terrain's very interesting. There's some unique stuff here, and it's an AMREV game. I kind of enjoyed it. But check it out if you're interested in those kind of things. The production value is a little chintzy. You're going to pay $50 to $60 for this. That's just what it sells for, and just be aware. But
yeah, if you're a hardcore war gamer,
probably pass this one.
You probably have other Brandywine games on your shelf.
But if you want to play this with Dad on a holiday, and he doesn't play war games, I would get it.
Or if you take someone to a battlefield or a museum who's not into gaming, you're like, hey, you'd like that, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And then they're going to play it, and then they'll be like, hey, I'm a war gamer now. Do you want to play war games? And like, oh, you're into war games now. And you can trick them into all sorts of other things.
Exactly. The other game that I played, we had a snow day this month. What did we have, like 5 inches that one day? My work, we work from home, so I had 3 or 4 Teams meetings and a couple of phone calls. And my kids and wife were home, so I forced my 11-year-old daughter, Marin, to play War Chest from Alderac Entertainment Group, AEG. This is designed by David Thompson and Trevor Bender, the same gentleman that designed Undaunted Stalingrad, there. This is a very basic game, kind of a tactical. You're building your bag of units and then drawing those units out and doing things on a hex-based battle board. 2 to 4 players, pretty interesting, unique. My daughter enjoyed the first game. The second game, she was like, I don't think I like that game as much, Dad. Which is a shame. It's a neat little game. I was hoping she would like it. Lots of units. It's fun, unique. They all have different abilities, and it has a lot of the precursor mechanics used in Undaunted.
Plus, it comes in a war chest.
Well, and it's a beautiful little, it's kind of a clamshell, and I mean, look at these frickin' bags. This was like a 30.
Magnetic?
It is, so it sticks. I mean,
find those so satisfying.
Yeah, it's just interesting. This was $35 on Amazon.
Yeah.
This was probably a $60 to $65 game because it's kind of a deluxe, but I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. Am I going to play this a ton? Probably not, but it'll be on my shelf. I like David Thompson's designs, and maybe I'll get Marin to play one more time. Probably not.
So I played a couple games this month with some friends locally that I'm trying to get into games.
From church, right? Didn't you say they're from church?
I think most of them are, yes.
Okay. So, what do you mean you think most of them are?
Well, I played some of them, but not.
Got it. Okay.
So, Marvel Legendary.
We love this game. Deck building.
Last month,
fun.
I played with David, and we played the Legendary Encounters, which is the Alien one.
Yeah.
I taught him that.
That's one of our favorites of all time.
He really enjoyed that.
Yep.
We had a bigger group. There was 4 of us, and not all of them were into Alien, so we played something that was a bit more palatable.
Who's not into Alien? I want to meet these people.
People who haven't seen Alien.
All right. You know how addicted I am to Alien?
Like, I won't turn that off.
Well, I go online and watch YouTube videos about the expanded universe lore because it's awesome.
It is awesome.
I'm a loser.
So we played this. It was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
I think they all enjoyed it, and it was. I had a good time with it, which is funny.
How many times have we played Marvel?
We played this one a bunch.
Probably 10 times, 12 times. I have it. I own it.
But it was also nice because, we haven't played it in an extremely long time.
Yeah.
So this had sat on my shelf languishing. I'd moved it to a different shelf, and I had almost sold this a number of times. And now I'm like, cool, I have a different audience for this. So
nice.
It was nice to, kick the tires
bringing
a bit on that
them
one.
along in the hobby, right?
Yes. Then, I don't know, like a week or two later, some of those same guys came over, and we played Blood Rage.
And you've played Blood Rage with them before, right?
Yes. And so the 2 guys who I played it with before, it was them again. We played this in, I think, December. And so then we replayed this, and so they remembered some of the stuff, and were a bit more familiar with it.
I wish I had guys around me that played other board games, because I could do that on a Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Right. So we do this on the Thursday, and it was great. I mean, it's Blood Rage, one of my favorite dudes on the map games.
I love all 3 of the games in this series, right?
Yes. This is the only one I know what I'm doing in, though. The other 2, I have no friggin' clue.
I do know how to play this one. Rising Sun, I'm not sure I'm good at. Although I've won it at least once. And then Ankh, I won it, but I have no idea how I won it.
Ankh, I feel like I kind of know a bit more.
But it's. I mean, there's a lot going on.
But with Rising Sun, it's like, there's dudes on the map. But as soon as it comes to that like 5-step battle resolution, I have no idea what I should be doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill all my guys and get the honor.
Yep.
Or like, oh, I'm
Or
gonna
I have
like
a goal
commit
that I
really
need.
hard
Yeah.
and then lose. Like, or I'm
It's
gonna
really
pay for a
interesting.
billion Ronin to come in.
Yeah. Eric Lang is a very interesting designer.
I'm very poor at the decision making. That Blood Rage, very simple, really great game. Absolutely love
It
playing
is a great
this.
game. I agree with that.
Always a good time.
Then you played ASL.
Yes. So
Starter kit.
with Ed, we're playing through the ASL starter kits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick like some of the smaller scenarios from each one of those. So we're going to play through all 4. And part of that is because we play on our lunch break. So he comes over and we play for an hour and then he goes home. So I have to like have...
So it takes a couple, 2-3 days to get through a scenario.
Yeah. So currently...
Where's he work again?
He works from home.
Oh, okay. He just lives in Anderson.
Yes. So he lives locally, which is nice. But as such, I want to play through a bunch of those, and I'm kind of slowly picking up the rules.
Yeah.
So we're going to finish that this month as well. But we've been playing that. That's really cool to like finally get some of that. So people can,
Once you get the rules
people
down,
can get off my back, and then I'll be able to teach you
me.
the starter kits at least.
looking forward to that.
And then I also...
So I can shut people up and get them off my back. I'm just
Yes.
kidding. I
But-
do want to play it.
So, one of the guys that I played Marvel Legendary with, he texted me on like a Thursday night or whatever, and he was like, hey, my neighbors are really big into board gaming, and we're having a board game night. Do you want to come around and play? And I'm like, normally that's my job to invite you to board gaming, but yes, I do. So I went around there. So I know JR from church, but then it was 2 of his neighbors who were just like 2 like college-age kids that lived next door to him.
Okay, that's
And
interesting.
They brought over Fort from Leader Games.
Yeah.
And so we played Oath, we played Root, but had not...
We love their games.
Yeah,
Right?
they do some great games, but we hadn't never played Fort. So it was a little tableau builder, basically. It's like a deck building tableau builder.
You're building a fort.
But you don't actually build the tableau per se.
Oh, okay.
Like, the fort is like a little track. That's like the least interesting part of it.
Okay.
But like, it's this very kid-themed, little kind of a fun-like game.
Okay.
I crushed them with it, which was like...
You've gotten better at games, man. You've been doing some good work.
He'd bought that game. He'd played it once, 2-player with someone else, and then he was teaching it to everyone else first time. So it just kind of was like... I felt a little bit bad.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, that was...
Never a good thing when you beat someone at their own game
Yeah.
on your first attempt.
We played a lot of deck builders, and it reminded me a lot of kind of like Race for the Galaxy in a way.
Okay.
In some of the ways that you're trying to trigger effects and
Got it.
maximize things, and you want to make everyone else do the work for you so that you can profit off of it. It was a neat little game, but yeah, it was fine. It was okay.
Yeah.
It's not a game that I would go out and purchase just because it's not like thematically and what the
Yeah.
style of game is. I'd rather play something like Root, for example.
Yeah. Root's very interesting.
Yes.
Like Root
I
a lot.
think...
That was it.
Oh, I played one other game. Sorry. With my son Atticus, we played Marvel United, because he'd been asking me for a while. We played that, and specifically we played through the Infinity Gauntlet Saga.
Okay.
So there's like 4 linked games in a campaign. We sat down one night and we played all of it. It's a very fast-playing game.
Nice.
So we played the whole of those. Thanos trying to gather the Infinity Stones, and then you have like a final showdown where he's like mega powerful and you have to defeat him. So he really enjoyed that. That was a good time.
Did you win?
We did, yes.
Nice.
But we had handled them.
Did you fight the Rhino?
No, we don't play the Rhino in
He's
that
unbeatable.
game. Rhino is very stupid, very
powerful.
broken, and we throw him in the trash. I think outside of playing some like Pokemon, that was all that we had played.
Got it.
Wow. But yes, that
Okay.
was a lot of games.
Yeah.
We played...
I feel like literally
lot.
January was just a game-a-thon, and that's awesome. I think that's awesome.
Yes.
Like I said, we just consistently met on Friday nights. We even got a couple Saturdays in after meeting on Friday nights, and then had opportunities to play. I also played a game called Endless Winter,
Yes.
Paleo Americans, with our brother-in-law and father-in-law, Brum and John.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to come over.
No.
That was fun. That was on, what day was that? MLK Day. I went over to their house and kind of a worker placement, area control, but a lot of interesting components and a lot of different things. It was like a point salad. You could score points in a lot of different ways. But it was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah.
That's all the games we played.
That's it.
And
I
that
swear.
was a ton of
It was a
games.
ton of games. That was a ton.
And I feel like February's shaping up to be pretty good too.
Well, I mean,
We have a lot of good plans.
here we've already played at least one game, and we're gonna at least get 5 or 6 other games this month because we've got kind of gaming dates set up,
Yes,
right?
yes.
With
So-
friends and
Games that we plan to play in February.
one of which we've already played.
One of which we played before we shot this.
Yeah.
Votes for Women
That's a
from
great
Fort
game.
Circle Games. I'm very excited to play this very cool game. I hope it's as good as I want it to be. It is.
And I've already went to the future and seen it was a very good game.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a good time with
there
this.
is a-
But we're playing this one in February.
Yes, this is a February game. There is a full review of this
Yeah.
that's ready to come out.
It's just a beautiful game too. I mean,
Yeah.
so well produced. So there's so much love, I think, put into that game by the designer and by Kevin with Fort Circle. Great product.
And also, like, it's a really tight game. This has been very clearly well developed.
Yeah.
This has been through a lot of scrutiny. But just like a lot of kind of election or voting style games,
Yep.
it's, kind of area control of states and trying to get that to snowball for your ultimate goals, right?
But some really cool strategies you got to play. You got to do a lot of things. It's very interesting.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, I hope it's good too. It's good.
Okay, then we are going to play.
We're starting to get into our 2023
Yes.
games.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a mix here, but 2023 War Games, Downfall of the Third Reich from Do It Games. I know very little about this.
Well, this came off a Kickstarter. Victor Catala is the designer. It's a grand strategic level World War II game. Area movement, European theater. It just looks cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the back of it. If you're interested, I did a series of interviews with Victor on this one and its sister game called Downfall of Empires.
And that's a World War One game?
That's a World War I game. So we're gonna hold on to that one until August when we do Guns of August, and I hope to heaven it's just 1 month, not 6. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I've rifled through this.
Not a complicated game, right?
No, I think it's a I wouldn't say introductory, but it definitely is not overly complex.
240 minutes. That's quite long.
It's a long game, but it looks really good. So I'm very interested. 240 is probably that's a long time.
That feels long.
It's 4 hours.
I'm curious to see what that looks
But-
like then on the table.
We do need to unbox this, so before we play it here in a couple of weeks,
Yes.
we need to unbox it. So that's one game we're going to play. We have our friend Mike coming
Yes.
over
Mike's coming into town, so
on
yeah.
President's Day weekend, the
So
17th.
we're going to play Corrupt Bargain, which is a 2022
and
board
that is
game.
2 to 4 players, right?
Yes.
So we can do 3 players.
Yep.
Somebody's just going to have to control.
Well, I don't know exactly how
How
that
it
works,
works.
if they
Okay.
add or remove stuff. But yeah, this is one that I've wanted to play for a while. It's been on a shelf. We had plans to play it that fell through at one point, so
Yeah.
we're going to get this done. This isn't a very long game, hour and a half at the most, and so I think we also plan to play
Hidden Strike American Revolution.
from Worthington.
Yep, designed by Maurice Suckling. We don't have it with us. But that's also one of those games that can do 2 to 4 players. Very unique and interesting game. I really want to try it out.
Yeah, and
I really want to.
it's a game that I don't know. It came out a while ago, and
Yeah, like 18 months ago.
I don't know how many people actually played it.
I
and,
have not
talked about it.
I have not seen much
No.
at all on it, but it looks interesting.
Maybe there
It
was
does.
back then, but yeah, some neat concepts in it at least.
Yeah,
So I'm very curious to see what that looks like.
Dorian Gray and Maurice Suckling kind of worked together on it, and they hope to do a whole series of different games. But yeah, I want to play that one. So that's going to be in a couple of weekends.
Dorian Gray, great name by the way.
It is. It's a
Hopefully he's
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and it's a vampire, right?
well. It's
From
the picture
literature.
of Dorian Gray And he's not a vampire, but is he?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's definitely planned.
We went on a tangent. We're also, you can talk about it, I don't care.
Yes, Desert Victory. So this is the new game that comes inside C3I. This is from Trevor Bender. Yes, it uses the same system as
His game.
The Tigers Are Burning,
Yep.
which was from last year's one, part of his C3I Combined
This
Arms
is
series.
volume 2. And it's a North Africa game. What's not to like? We do enjoy North Africa games.
Yes.
We really
and,
do.
This is the counter sheet here. They're really big counters, but not very many of them. So I hope that it plays decently fast and it's not particularly complicated and it's a playable, great game.
Yep.
Because
It's a magazine war game, but C3I does a really good job on their magazine war games.
yes.
So
And the
I'm looking
magazine
forward
itself
to it.
is always a winner with
Yeah.
C3I. Plus, you get all these extra
Replacement
errata
counters for other
Pack
games.
War.
Yeah, what else is there?
So there's a bunch of stuff for Pack War.
Pacific War.
This is a what do they call it? This is like
SPQR.
this is a light troops variant
Okay.
SPQR that they got going on.
Okay.
And then most of the stuff is for
Desert
this game.
Victory, yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
Nice.
I mean,
Yeah, looking forward to that one.
What's not to like? And it's should be kind of
Yeah.
a short, easy game to kind of put in with something else.
Speaking of another short and easy game, we are going to try to get Twilight Struggle, Red Sea Conflict in the Horn of Africa.
Yep.
So this is kind of 30 to 40 minute Twilight Struggle focused just on that Horn of Africa, right?
Yes.
So it's very interesting looking. It really looks like Twilight Struggle Light that you're going to play in 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes.
And it's a 2022 release. We need to play this from GMT, and we're going to try to play it kind of this month.
I feel like there's been kind of
Well, we really enjoyed. I enjoyed Flashpoint, South China Sea.
and
Quick
this is a
playing,
different
fun
system,
game.
But I think
Yeah.
publishers are trying to put games out that fit that kind of shorter, smaller niche because it makes wargaming much more accessible.
That's a game we could play Downfall of the Third Reich for 4 hours, right?
And then you squeeze that in.
Then you squeeze that in for 30 minutes, or you play 2 games and you've got a 5-hour gaming session. So the only other final game that we have, this is a game that we got a copy, and this is a flimsy box, by the way. It's kind of
like
odd.
the old MMP paper boxes.
I'm not really happy with it, but
because it's very heavy, there's a lot inside.
well, it's a very packed box. The components are absolutely gorgeous. So this is a Coin Series inspired game. 4 factions, World War II, Italy 43 to 45. It's called Italy 43-45, The Showdown. And I think the showdown is Larissa de Conti or something like that. I look forward to this. This is self-published, designed by, it's like a stage name, right? Like
I'm not
Board Game Geek name.
I'm not going to pretend to get into that.
But I mean, it really is cool looking.
When
it really
this was
is.
being designed,
Nice
seeing
board.
pictures of it, and we were playing it and demoing it at cons in Italy, and it was like, ooh, that looks neat. And so
I'm just really excited to try it, and we'll definitely give it a go.
Yes.
So that's kind of our gaming plans for the month of February.
Yeah, and I'm going to finish up some ASL. I know that's going to happen.
I'll do something solo.
Yeah, I'd like to do Skies Over Britain solo or Skyhawk.
Skyhawk.
I just haven't got to those. And then I'm sure at some point I'll do at least one gaming session of just fun board games as well.
Yeah.
And we have Frosthaven coming tomorrow.
And that's probably going to dominate
So,
our
yeah,
Saturdays for a while. So we're going to have to work really hard to make sure we get wargaming in.
We're keeping Fridays for wargamings for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Every other minute of the day is Frosthaven.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see how it goes.
Go figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think but I know that we already have fixed plans to do this, that, and this. So I feel pretty good. There are some months where we say, oh, we're going to do this, that, and this. And
Well,
okay.
my wife and daughters are going out of town for a weekend. We're going to play 2 or 3 days. I think your wife has an out-of-town thing for work.
Yeah, she's got
We're going to play a couple of days.
Stuff, so I'm like, I'm home.
I definitely have confidence we'll get those 4 or 5 games played.
Yeah, I feel, yes, it's one of the few months where I actually feel pretty good about that.
Yeah.
Going into it.
Although January was amazing.
Yeah.
So we definitely did a good job. I'm going to put my glasses on for the next part.
Yes.
Right?
So let's talk about what we got coming up
On Kickstarter.
on Kickstarter and other platforms.
I discussed 4 games, and I'm going to have to try to remember them. So one is the Doomsday Project, Episode 2, The Battle for the Balkans from Compass Games, designed by Adam Starkweather. So this is the second game in that Doomsday series. That just came on Kickstarter. People are goo-goo and gaga over Cold War.
People love that, yeah. The first one did really well.
People, and it's probably because we all grew up. You were pretty young. I grew up during the Cold War, and it's something I thought about all the time, frankly. The next one is, you may have seen, I did a review, you did an unboxing of 8th Air Force and another game called 20th Air Force.
Yeah, they're like sister games.
Yeah, they're air bombing campaigns over Western Europe or over the Pacific from a company called Fortress Games. They are doing second editions of both of those games. So they're pretty interesting games. I'm not sure the art is that fantastic. I've told Bob, the owner, that I'm like, man, just upgrade your art, and I think you got a real big winner.
And for the second edition,
they look better and they have boxes.
Yeah, they're boxed editions now. The counters they did improve.
They did. You can see them right here.
They got some side by sides of the counters.
I don't know if you can see that, but
the map is seemingly unchanged, and that was
but it's functional, right? It makes the game playable. So that one's on Kickstarter. There are 2 others that are coming on Kickstarter, and there's probably more. Bill Molyneux, who I just showed you Battle of Brandywine with Fast Play War Games, is doing one on the Anglo-Zulu War called Horns of the Buffalo. Horns of the Buffalo is a reference to the hunting and combat style that the Zulus employed as they fought. Very interesting looking, scenario based. I think there's 12 scenarios in a box from Fast Play War Games. It starts on February the 11th. I have an interview coming out with Bill next Friday, so look for that. It looks interesting, but once again, it's a simple game.
Yep.
It's an introductory style war game, so don't expect huge depth and complex machinations, because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
The final one comes out on February the 28th.
Yes, end of the month.
And it's a company called Invicta Rex Games. We met these gentlemen last year at Buckeye Game Fest. They have a game called Song for War, the Mediterranean Theater. It is a kind of a crossover war game, meaning I think they're targeting non-traditional war game players to hopefully bring them into the fold. But it is a look at the Mediterranean theater.
Yes.
So you've got the Germans, the Italians paired up versus the British and the Americans as they're going through the North Africa campaign and Italy campaign.
And a significant portion of that map is blue.
Yes, so there's a lot of naval is a big part of it.
It's a huge part of that game.
It looks really good. The components are very interesting. Doesn't use counters. It uses kind of wooden blocks, but they're not traditional wooden blocks. It just looks really interesting. We are trying to set up over the next couple of weeks a kind of a interview over video with them. I'm trying to give those guys a little coverage because I think the game looks interesting.
Well, and I think it's just like it's some friends and family who have decided to put this together.
Yeah, to come together and build this game
themselves, which is I want to support that.
It looks good. We looked at it at Buckeye Game Fest. I thought it was enjoyable. I'm doing an interview with them, but we're also going to try to schedule a video interview. Not this week. I have tons of night meetings, but potentially the following week. So those are the 4 Kickstarters that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's others that I have missed, but always keep your eyes open because there's great opportunities on Kickstarter to get great games for a good price.
I've got Frosthaven, which is a Kickstarter that's fulfilling.
Yeah,
that's coming tomorrow.
Supposed to be here tomorrow.
They just had an update on Kingmaker Second Edition.
Okay,
that's going to come out much sooner than I was expecting. I think, because I don't know about you, when I back Kickstarters these days, it's like this will be ready in a year and a half.
Yeah, it just takes forever.
Kingmaker will be here in the summer.
Well, I have that Heroes of Normandy.
That's coming soon, isn't it?
Well, It's supposed to land in Portland in February, early March. So
I mean,
what does that mean? Should get it in mid-March to late March.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's a cool looking game. It's got the toy factor, right? But I'm okay with that.
And then the other thing.
The other ass.
The other aspect. The other aspect.
This is a PG show.
Sure. Not Kickstarter, but MMP just released like a ton of new pre-orders.
Yeah.
And normally we don't talk about pre-orders, but like
Goose Green.
we pre-ordered a bunch. Yeah. TCS Goose Green, the new
SCS Ardennes 2.
Ardennes 2.
So basically it's SCS Ardennes kind of upgraded.
Yeah, in the same
lack
way
of
that
a
they
better
had
word.
Africa in 1993.
Yeah.
Ardennes was in 1993, and it's much nicer than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because those old ones are a little bit of an eyesore. They still work great, but they just make a nice new version of it.
And we love the SCS system.
Yeah,
Really,
we also
really do.
Storm over Jerusalem. That's getting there. They they just sent the counters off to the printer, so
Yeah, it's
that
met
one's
the
coming
minimum
sooner rather
orders.
than later. So normally we don't do pre-orders in this because it could be here forever.
Well, we did Warriors of England as well.
And we also did OC Operational Matters, which
Yeah,
has,
like a magazine with a game in it. Sicily too.
yes,
Is it OCS?
yeah, which is it's one of the smaller ones, and I'm like, you know what?
I've still got Smolensk.
If we can get that, look, we all have games,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
I've got Smolensk clipped and ready to go. It's just there's a lot of counters. We played that with Gary or pushed counters around and talked about it, which was fun. But Gary, when I say Gary, I mean Art Wolf.
yes.
Hey Artie, thanks.
But yeah, I don't know. They released a bunch of new ones, and it was very exciting. So anyway, check that out if that's something you're interested in as well.
So lots of new games coming up.
Yes.
I did last week on the blog. I did my top 10 anticipated war games of 2023. Check it out if you want. There's 4 coin series games on it.
I mean, there's a lot
I don't
coming.
apologize for that. There are 4 of them that should come out this year, and I'm very, very excited. So
Yes.
lots of other Hex and Counter war games on it. Couple from MMP, couple from GMT, couple from other sources. So check that out. But lots of good games coming up. We do not have a lack of good games, that's for sure.
So, a word from our sponsor, Noble Knight Games. We're very, very appreciative of them sponsoring this channel and supporting this hobby.
And I'm proud to be associated with them because they are a very solid company, right? They've done a good job for a long time. They provide a lot of war gamers and board gamers with good games, hard to find games at pretty good prices. But for an out-of-print game, you're going to pay a little more than you would. And they also have new releases. They have board games. They have board game supplies. They have miniatures. They have a lot of different stuff.
And you can
role-playing games.
One of the things I really
books
like,
I didn't think they've got.
Yeah,
I think I've
they
seen
got some
books on
yeah.
there.
One of the things I really appreciate war games on there is that they will often stock European games. So like you can get a lot of the games from VUCA Simulations. When those are released, you can very often find them on Noble Knight. You can get some games that it's really hard to find everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not like trying to rip you on some of those because those are pretty expensive games anyway.
Yeah.
But
well, those kind of games, they're the pre-order, so they're a little better priced than some of their other out-of-print games that are hard to find. But I got my copy of Frederick from them, and it was very reasonable. Very reasonable.
That's where I bought this.
Yeah.
I saw someone playing it, and I was
very
like, that's
reasonable.
beautiful. Went online, and they had you got to get it. But yeah, so appreciate them for supporting us. Really, really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. So on to the main
event
topic of this month's monthly debrief.
And I want to apologize up front because we did not take any topics from our patrons this month. So we apologize for that.
This is a topic that
we've been thinking about this for a while.
Yes. Now, we had a ton of really good suggestions this month.
And we wrote those down.
And I have those on a bigger list. So I appreciate all of our patrons again. Appreciate the support for the channel.
Yeah.
If you want to be able to suggest topics in the future, if you sign up to our Patreon, you get access to our Slack channel. But there's also a post monthly on Patreon for $5 or more, where you can suggest these topics and almost every other month we pick from there. This month was an exception to that. Just because we had a cool topic and something that we wanted to kind of
I don't
talk
know
about.
if it's going to be cool, but it's going to be fun.
But it was something that was interesting that we wanted to talk about. But normally, we pick from those. But thank you, everyone who supports us there, and we have a great little community, and it's really fun to talk board games and everything else with everyone there too. So, what is today's topic?
Well, I don't know exactly what to call it. We kind
not in
of
a pithy way.
We kind of struggled with it. This is not a shelf of shame or a shelf of opportunity concept. This is a concept of we all have games that we just can't get around to, right? And we thought about some of the games that we've owned, some just for 6 months, some for a year or two, but games that we really want to play ... badly.
Yes.
Like I've been thinking about these games, either because we've looked at them, talked about them, feel like, man, that's a good game, or I know a couple of them are good games because
a lot of them, I think,
because of their reputations. And one of the games you chose for your side, I've played. It's my game. I've played it. We just didn't play it together.
I haven't played it. I want to play it. That's what
I enjoyed the heck out of it. And I would love to play that with you. So that's kind of what this month's topic is. Games that we want to play
very badly.
Very badly. So not shelf of shame. Some of these haven't been on our shelf that long.
No, and like I have plenty of games on the shelf of shame that's like, hey, I own this, and embarrassingly, I haven't played it.
To me, shelf of shame is like we had Paths of Glory on our shelf for a while.
Yes.
That's embarrassing, right? That kind of made me sick.
Yeah.
That we hadn't played that.
And now, like, finally we've played it. I feel less sick about it, but I do want to play it more.
Well, I want to play it again. Another example of a game like that is we've had, what's the name of that game? For the People.
For the People.
We've had For the People on the shelf for a while.
That's not what this list is.
No.
This list is just games that we think about and want to play that we just haven't yet.
And it's mouth-watering to me. As we thought and talked about these titles, I thought, those are some games that I cannot believe we don't have videos on our channel.
Yes.
Or content on the blog.
And
because they're amazing.
Some of these, like this is one of those lists. This is one of those videos where this could be like 5 hours and I could talk about a trillion games.
I had 15 games that I could have brought up, but I tried to pick 4. You only got 3, but... Anyway.
It could have gone on forever.
Yeah.
So let's start with one of yours.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with I think an older game.
Relatively, yeah.
A game that I purchased in 2016. I did a lot of research on this game. First, we love card-driven games, no doubt. At that time, I didn't own many MMP games, and the topic is what I was interested in. Kingdom of Heaven. So this is a look at the Crusades in the Holy Land, right? Card-driven game, hex encounter. Well, it's not hex encounter, but point to point. Uses counters, card-driven game. The embarrassing thing about this game is...
Not that embarrassing.
Because the rules just...
So...
Damn.
Okay.
Damn.
We set this up.
We set it up.
And by set it up, I mean we tried to set this up.
We tried. But I couldn't find some of the counters.
We were so new to both wargaming and, for me, this part of history. I know a lot more where I'd be more comfortable with.
So this covers the First Crusade, the Second Crusade, the Third Crusade. They skipped the Fourth, but the Fifth, the Seventh, the Mongol invasion, the Lion of Egypt, don't know what that is, fall of the Crusader states,
brackets hypothetical,
and invasion of Egypt.
Like
this has it all.
Yeah.
Right?
2016.
Look at that beautiful art.
We'd been wargaming for like at most a year.
6 months.
Right. And we bought this and
I got it for like $45.
No offense to MMP, there's like no friggin' examples or images or diagrams in this rulebook.
And there's one video out there, and I want to say it's Callendale, and I love Callendale, but trying to learn a game from Callendale is like trying to get...
That's not what his videos are.
It's not. He's kind of like us, right? We just talk about it.
Yeah.
But this is a game desperately I want to play,
and
so
I feel
badly.
Like if we were to attempt this,
we would get it.
We'd get it. We'd be much more successful. Like we couldn't even set it up because it was like, the setup was just like a list of units, and it used all these abbreviations, and it was like, what does that even mean? Because there's no like diagrams.
We have come a long way.
Yes.
I think we've come a long way.
I remember being like so frustrated trying to set this up.
So this is a game,
did.
I'm not ashamed that we haven't played this.
No.
In fact, we've set it up even. I just want to play this one.
Yeah, it's funny. Someone else was asking about this the other day.
Yep.
They were like, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting this. Has anyone played it?" And I'm like,
And-
"You know what? In my infancy, when I was but a boy, we tried, and we were idiots, and we would be so good at this now, and it would be great."
I'm so excited. I loved clipping all those beautiful counters.
Yeah, great.
It's a great looking game. So Kingdom of Heaven, the Crusader States. I want to play this one so badly, I can taste it.
Yes.
So not a shelf of shame though. I'm not ashamed
No.
that I haven't played that one.
All,
That's what this video is
Of all
about.
these games, this is the closest to a shelf of shame.
Yeah, I'm a little ashamed that we haven't. That one's been out for like 15 years.
Yeah, and it's like a classic.
yeah.
So this is Ardennes 44 from GMT Games.
And we love Mark Simonich.
Yes.
We love his 4X series, not 4Xs and
40X.
40X. I mean, Holland 44, and we've loved them. Why haven't we played this?
We just haven't. Well, first of all, part of that is that
It's a big game.
this took us a while to get as well.
That's true.
Like I've only had this for like 3 years instead of.
Well, didn't we get a second, or is that a second printing copy?
This is third printing.
So we got that
in 2018.
We actually got it from GMT. We didn't buy it on a store. We bought it. We got it from them.
Okay.
Right.
I couldn't remember. If
Yeah.
that
We
was the
didn't
case or
trade
not.
for this. We didn't find this somewhere. They had a new printing out, and we got it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those games that's like, we love the system.
Yep.
I know I'm going to enjoy doing it. It's
There's no doubt.
It's quite big. It's 2 maps.
Yeah. It's a big game.
And then it's just like sitting down and doing it. We just haven't got to it yet.
I'm gonna be honest. That is a damn beautiful map.
It's
just beautiful.
Vintage Simonage, right?
I love them. I'm so excited about this. Why don't we play this very soon?
I think that we should. But yeah,
There's so many games that and you've got it all clipped.
I got it all
organized.
I got it organized by turn of entry.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's gonna be great.
We're gonna have a blast
It's
with
gonna
that
be
one.
great.
We're gonna play that one this year. We're gonna play this one this year. We're gonna find the time. We're gonna do it.
I'm fine with that.
Ardennes 44.
Ardennes 44.
Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
just one of those games. Right?
What a game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go to this one because this is a game that I bought once again in 2016. So here we are, had been playing war games for like a year. Hadn't really played a lot of Hex Encounter. We'd play mostly Twilight Struggle, Coin Series games, Combat Commander, Labyrinth, those kind of games, right?
Yep.
I found this on like Amazon for $40. This is a World War II Hex Encounter game, Western Theater, designed by who? Guess who?
Ted Racer.
Ted Racer.
Is this a CDG?
No, it is not.
Okay. I don't know why. In my brain, I always thought this was a CDG.
Well, and I just like the box. When I saw that, I remember thinking, that is way cool. I just think it looks great, but it's called The Fall of the Third Reich. I mean, from Compass Games, what's not to like? I've got it all clipped. It's not in a tray. I'm embarrassed. I'm a little barbaric. I will get a tray before we play this. But it's a Ted Racer game, man.
Yeah, right.
I want to play it. We've played so many of.
Bad.
We've played Dark Sands, Dark Valley, Dark Summer. What else have we played of his?
Paths of Glory.
I mean, everything he does is good. I'm not ashamed that we haven't played this one, but I want to.
Yes.
I want to play this badly.
Yeah.
One map, pretty small counters, but I want to play it. I absolutely want to play it. So, The Fall of the Third Reich from Compass Game by Ted Racer. And when we were thinking about this, I remember thinking, that's a freaking Ted Racer game. It even says it right there, right on the top. We need to play this. I didn't have any idea who Ted Racer was when I bought this thing in like 2016. 7 years ago. Ridiculous. We're going to play that.
So, a game
Dang it.
that is not on the shelf of shame
I've played this one.
because
And
you
I
played
loved
it.
it.
I think if you hadn't played this, this would be on the shelf of shame.
I agree with that. But I have played this. I played this with our friend Matt.
Yes.
And a quick story. Matt is not a wargamer.
No.
He is a lover of the American Civil War. He's from Maryland, has
I don't know
read,
if I knew that.
yes, he has read dozens of books and wanted so badly to play this. He was over at my house one night. You had already moved out of Brownsburg.
I think so.
And he was over at my house. We were playing some stupid game. And he saw this on the shelf and he goes, let's do that. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I read the rules and watched a couple videos. The next Friday night he came over. We played from like 5 p.m. He left my house at like 3 a.m. And we got through like 6 turns. But we were both learning together. He was learning because he'd never played a Hex Encounter war game. This game is awesome.
Did he like it?
He loved it.
Okay.
And it led to him then buying Command Post games, Pub Battles, whatever that was called. Sharpsburg. I love that game. We had a blast playing that. Much simpler game, but he moved away before we could really get back to this. And I actually bought, I think, another Civil War game because I thought, oh, he's going to want to, and, he moved away.
Yeah, he moved away, sadly.
But a Simonich game.
Yeah,
GMT.
A big game, a massive game.
The board is amazing.
But it's Hex Encounter, which which at this scale is something that I've always found intriguing for the American Civil War, because so many of the ACW games that we got on the shelves
I got a nice rip there.
are like lines of troops.
Yeah,
it's like individual battles.
This is very open.
That aspect of it is what I'm interested in the most about this. I think it's fascinating.
You can do whatever you want. There's certain things you're going to have to do. You can't. You got to mess up and down the Shenandoah. Both sides do. You got to put some pressure on Richmond. You got to deal with the Mississippi. You got to do. There's some things that you're going to have to do, but the way you go about it, doing it, is pretty open.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. It has blockade running. It has ships. It has river I mean, it's amazing, the stuff that it has.
Yeah.
Such a cool game.
It just looks cool at this scale, because like every other ACW game is a battle, and I'm like, oh,
this is it.
The strategic stuff. I think that's interesting because we don't do a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It looks great.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to like it.
I know you're going to like it because I enjoyed it. And you know how bad I am at rules. I was able to shepherd us through those rules. They're good.
Okay.
Good
That's
rules.
good to know. That's good to know.
So here we'll go back to me. I'm going to go to one that actually I opened this for you tonight because we owned it, and
I got poorer today now that it's not new.
Well, yeah, it was. But now that forces us to play it.
We were going to play it anyway.
I know. Verdun, 1916, Steel Inferno. What a great name.
I mean, how good is that for a name?
And the art. I'm going to be honest. That's not everyone's cup of tea, right?
But it should be.
But it's unique.
That is great.
Very interesting. This is from Fellowship of Simulations. We have played several of their games. The most recent we played Wars of Religion.
Yep.
This box feels a lot like that, so I'm hoping, and I opened it up and it looked like there's some high quality components here.
Yes.
Volko Runke talks very highly of this. There's some others that have talked very highly of this. It's a very cool looking
World War
I
game, Battle of Verdun.
And sorry.
Beautiful
it's got some
card art.
Yep, it's got some cards. It's got some
bunch of wooden pieces.
Kind of block units, but they're not blocks. They're like formations. I mean, look at the freaking card art.
Look at all these different colored dice.
Looks amazing. I know. I looked through this earlier when you left. So I'm excited. That's why I went ahead and ripped it off because I wanted to see it.
This one, of all these games...
I feel a little ashamed that we haven't played it.
I don't, because only because
we've only had it for like a year.
I only got this recently, but also we also have plans to play this in August.
Do.
This is, of all these ones...
This will be played in August.
This definitely will get played.
Did we buy this when you were going on your crazy World War I hunt?
No. Well,
I think you did.
We got it at that time, but someone else was liquidating their collection, and we got it from them as well.
Well, we're going to do a Guns of August event this year. We're going to try to keep it to 4 or 5 weeks. We've got 5 or 6 games identified.
Yeah, this is definitely one of them.
Definitely one of them.
Of all of these ones, this is the most likely to get played.
And I think this company, of some of the companies that we've seen their stuff.
And it's a French company.
It's a French company. I really want to support this company because I think they've got some really good stuff coming out. They've got a Napoleon game coming out soon.
Yep.
It looks really interesting. It really does. But anyway, Fellowship of Simulation, Verdun, 1916.
Yeah.
Really looking forward
Looks
to
great.
it. Evocative cover. very exciting.
The last game that I have here on my table that I want to talk about
It's
today.
a classic, right?
Yeah, been around for a while, gone through a number of different iterations. So this is War and Peace by One Small Step.
It's not in good shape. Looks like the box is split.
No, and that's because
Did you drop it?
No, so this game is one of the most well-traveled games in my collection because
Meaning?
I bought this off of one of our patrons
Okay.
who lives in Israel.
Oh, nice.
And so he bought it from the US, so it's gone there and back again.
Oh, nice.
A Hobbit's Tale.
There and back again. War and Peace.
I think we've had a couple games shipped to us from Australia.
we have.
So
Yep.
that's up there
That's
as well.
probably, we have one down there, Assault on Gallipoli, that
If we ever shipped those on, I think those would probably definitely take the cake.
Yeah,
but this
yeah,
is
yeah.
that's why it's a little bit worse for where they got a new edition of it. So
Got it.
that I got this one at a very reasonable price, which I appreciate.
Mark McLaughlin, right?
Yeah, Mark McLaughlin, Napoleonic hex encounter game, and again, I feel
What's
this
not to
way,
like?
kind of how I feel about the U.S. Civil War.
Yep.
So many Napoleonics games are point to point or area move or they're battles, and this is they're small counters.
Holy crap.
But at least the units have like,
Well, silhouettes.
Two values on them, though.
And you can, yeah.
It's not like they got 17
My
values.
goodness. And the maps are huge. I've seen the maps.
It's two massive, big old maps.
Wow.
Part of the reason
Once you have these organized in a tray, you barbarian.
I've got
You just mocked me for not having
you
mine.
can't fit trays in here.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
I got them organized by army, and there's bags within bags of the different unit types. Those are
Some notes on special counters.
or something.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
yeah, I'm reading War and Peace at the moment, so at worst, I will play some of this solo. But
No, we're going to
I
play
would
this
like
together.
to play
Absolutely.
this with you.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to do the whole shebang-a-bang.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Let's pick a smaller scenario, 8 or 10 turn scenario.
But
Let's
I'd
try
like
it
to
out.
do the 1812 Russian
Okay.
scenario. That's what I want to do.
Is this a multiplayer, or is it just 2-player?
That is a great
Could
question.
you divide command up? Is this something we could do at a con
You
or a
can
basement
play
con?
2 to 5 players.
Okay.
So probably the big ones, you can probably do that.
Well, that's something to keep
like,
in mind.
It's something that I'd heard is that, and I don't know how, because again, there's been a number of different iterations of this and the
Yeah.
rules changes. Is they were like the scenarios are good, but like the linked campaign stuff is a little bit troublesome.
Okay.
Because that Napoleonic Wars was like, hey, we fought war, and then we like didn't for a year because
Yeah.
there was truces and peace treaties, and then we were back on again, but all the alliances were different. So I can understand how that is tricky.
Look
in
at the
Napoleonics.
Emperor. How grand.
What an absolute numpty. But yeah, this is one that I've had on the shelf for a while.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, I bought it because it was like, this is cool in one day. But like, now,
We need to play
now
that.
I'm reading the book, I'm like, yeah, we should just do it. We should just do it. I'd like to do it.
Okay.
And it looks great.
Yeah. There's no reason that we shouldn't play that one.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of how do we squeeze it in.
It's a
and
time
fit it
thing.
in. Yep.
And that's the reality. It's a time thing for all of these.
Also, it'd be nice to have our bigger table that our father-in-law is building
Yeah,
for us.
that's kind of like the same.
And yes,
thing
we're
you-
brother-in-laws for those that don't know. That's something we occasionally.
sidebar.
Yeah. That
We both married into the same family.
family. We're brothers-in-law.
Our wives are sisters.
Yeah. I'm older than Alexander by I'm 50 or 34.
You married the oldest sibling
Yep.
in that family, and I married the youngest.
Yeah. My name is Klein Hens.
My name is Klein.
No
Total
relation.
coincidence.
Yeah. Just a funky, weird thing. But we want to play that one. I want to play that one.
But yeah,
I've seen that on your shelf now for almost a year.
But yeah, it's big. Same with the U.S. Civil War. If I could have a table set up
Yeah,
where we
it
could
would help.
do that and other things.
Because the American Civil War, frankly, I left it set up and Matt just never, so I think after a week I took it down. I think if we could have a table that has a top that comes off, we could set it up, play a couple of turns, go back to something else.
do our videos and stuff.
Come back, play a couple of turns, go back to something else, come back, play a couple of turns, finish it, do a video. We could do the same with that, but we need the table. John, get off your duff. He probably doesn't watch us. I know he doesn't watch us. Get off your duff so I can say whatever I want. Get off your duff and do our frickin' table right now. Now. Okay. Final games, and I'm going to pull these off the shelf as well because I only pulled one down, but I want to pull all of them.
Okay.
All right, so Brian Train, who you know, I have an affinity for Brian Train. We've played multiple games of his.
He's designed 1 trillion games.
We have some that we have not played. Brief Border Wars is one that I considered adding to this list. Another one that I own is at home. It's like Civil Power. It's riots in the street.
Yeah, I think I remember the box of that
I've
one.
got it. I clipped it. I got it all organized. We've just never played it. Brian Train designed this series of games with Hollandspiel called the District Commander series, right? So it's DC, District Commander, something. The first game in the series is called DC Maracas. It's a fictitious city somewhere in South America, not based on any real city, but I think it's based on...
Yeah, this first one was quite generic in that way.
This system, we pushed counters around one evening, late in the evening, after we'd played a big war game already.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we felt like it was clunky. The rules weren't great.
My brain...
And we were tired.
Did not function to understand it properly.
So we shut it down. You then picked it up about a year later with Mike, our friend from St. Louis, when he was here. I had work meetings or something.
Yeah, we played this when I was much more lucid, and
it was awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'll come back to this thought again. I feel like there was the extra year and a half of experience in gaming, as well as, not being tired out of my mind, was like, oh, I totally get it.
Yeah, it clicked.
And it was pushing through and seeing the whole game and what the scoring looks like. It was like, it all clicked kind of at the end, and it was like, and it was really good.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that us sitting there messing around with it, I was like, this is pretty interesting. I just had no idea what we were doing.
No, and I couldn't see like the end of it, the end game of like what I was trying to do, and it was like the setup was kind of weird because it's a kind of a free-form game.
Yes.
Where it's like
you can put these units here, or you can put these units here,
and it's like you decide how long you play for. Like, we sit down beforehand and say, hey, we're going to play to 35
4 rounds,
points.
or whatever.
But like, what does that mean? What does that look like?
Yeah.
And having seen the scoring and what that looks like, I'm like, okay, cool. I know what a game length would be, and I know how long to play for, and all these handicaps and things like that. It was really great.
But it's a non-traditional war game, right? It's got irregulars, some troops, so it's kind of like coin in some ways.
Totally asymmetrical sides.
Right, asymmetrical is what I'm looking for.
But it's like a government or power faction
versus rebels.
Yeah. So insurgents.
Insurgents. And there are 3 games in the series. I don't think there's a 4th one, right?
Not yet.
So you've got a Vietnam game, DC Ben Din.
Yep.
You've got an Afghanistan game, DC Kandahar, and then the Virtualia, or whatever it's called, 2019, which is a fictitious.
Yes.
I want to play one or all of these because I think the series looks fascinating.
And this is like 1969 Vietnam.
This is 2010.
Like
Afghanistan.
This was great to learn on.
Yeah.
But I really want to play Kandahar.
I do too.
I think that's...
So maybe we go to Kandahar, and I'd like to do the Vietnam one as well.
Like, they're just...
But these are 3 games that I'm actually very jealous that Alexander has them in his collection because I like Brian Train. I'm not sure Alexander.
I hate Brian Train,
he's a great guy.
keep these just to
spite Grant. But we really need to play these.
Yeah, we need to sit down and get back to those because you will be like, yes.
When we play,
when we're both very comfortable with it, you're like, ooh, this is like, ah, yes.
Trying to kind of make an outro, and you've thrown all your games on the floor. Thank you very much. But I'm glad we did this topic. I think it's different than what we've normally done. But these are games that I really badly want to play.
Yeah.
And there's other games I could have added to this list.
Gosh. Like,
we had to trim it down to 4 or 5.
I recently got a hold of SES Africa 2.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it onto the list immediately, kind of a thing. But like, we could be here all night doing
that. We could. These are like 9 games, right? I had 5, I had 4, you had
3. Yeah,
3, 4 or 5, whatever. These are games that I badly want to play. What I want to hear from you, have you played these? What are your thoughts? Are they worth being on this list of us wanting to play badly? I know U.S. Civil War is great.
This is like almost a classic.
Yeah.
But people love it.
And it only came out in, 2016? Yeah. I mean, it's not even that old of a game. I bought this. This was my 4th war game after buying Combat Commander, Liberty or Death, Wilderness War, then this. And these are good. These DC, Kandahar, Maracas, they're good. I know these games are good. We just need to get them to the table. We need to find an opportunity and get them to the table. My guess is for us to get through these, we're going to have to kind of say, okay, we're going to do one a month, right? We're going to throw that on our list of the 5 or 6 games we're going to try to get through this month, and we're just going to have to do it. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's being organized about it, because you will never play a game that you say, oh, I'm going to play that one day. You never will. It's not going to happen.
Right.
But if you make the plan to say, like, okay, cool, we're going to play these 3 2023 war games, and then one of these, and specifically pick one, and that's it, you're much more likely to follow through on that goal.
So we didn't do it for what we wanted to do in February, but let's start doing these in March, and we can have all these play. And we don't need to do all 3 necessarily.
But just one of them for sure.
I just want to
and I want to
better
play,
experience the system.
Yeah, War and Peace is something where it's like, cool, well, I'm going to make a video on that book for From Cover to Cover series, so I want to play this for that. So having outside pressures on some of these, like the Steel Inferno. What? We got that Guns of August event.
We're going to do that one in August.
Some of
that one's going to be in
cool.
August.
We can really commit to some of these a bit easier as well.
So once again, have you played these games? What are your thoughts on these games? What are some games that you badly want to play that have not languished in your collection and you're ashamed? Because once again, this one's probably a very close. These two are both very close to Shelf of Shame. But I didn't want to do that. I hate Shelf of Shame because it's a negative.
We have lots of those.
Yeah, we have a lot of those. But these are games that I badly want to play, and I think looking at these games, they kind of give you a window into what we really enjoy.
Which is very eclectic.
Yeah, I would agree, 100%. So, anyway, thanks for letting me kind of pick the topic. I thought this was an interesting one, but it's, when you put the title together, it's War Games We Want to Play... ... badly, or something like that.
I will try to think of something that's pithy and short that looks good on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm excited and interested to play all of these, and I hope
I'm gonna write these down. I'm gonna keep them in my notes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a good.
Yeah.
I keep track of all that. I'm gonna keep track of this crap.
Yes.
So we're not gonna let these go.
Yeah.
We're gonna play them.
My worry is the size of this one.
Yeah, but you know what? Matt and I, who's not a war gamer, in 8 hours played. Yeah. We played 5 or 6 turns. We didn't play a whole campaign.
Yeah.
But we experienced it, and you know what? I had a great time.
Yeah, maybe that.
I got my butt kicked because I played the Rebels, but that's okay.
Because this is a 2-mapper as well. Like War and Peace, I know. Like there's a 1-mapper for the Russian
you can
campaign.
Do the small scenarios.
That's easy to do.
Yep. Okay.
But yes, war games that we very badly want to play. So, like Grant said, please comment below of the games that you very badly want to play. I also, if you've played this, I want to know about this, specifically this one.
Yeah.
If you've played Kingdom of Heaven, if you're one of the 2 people out there who's played Kingdom of Heaven, because no one talks about that game.
Now watch, there's going to be dozens of people that say, I played that.
Of course there are.
They're liars.
And I'm baiting
Just
them.
kidding.
And I hope that that's the case. Yeah. Because I want to hear about what your experiences are with that game.
Yep.
Because those are 2 where it's like, people don't talk about those games.
No, and this one came out, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure I ever saw anything about it.
And maybe they did. Maybe they did at the time. I don't know.
We have an unboxing video on our YouTube channel, but that's it.
But like,
that's it.
I want to hear about those, what your experiences are with those. But yes, either way, thank you very much for sticking with us.
Yep.
If you're here at the end, well done. But appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander for theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.